morning, guys. It's almost 5:30, ain't it? Pacific Standard Time. It's February 11th, 2021. We're John C., Roseman, California. You think I'd be talking about politics or COVID this morning? No, it's concerning about First Amendment rights, fans' reactions, and what to say and what not to say on the internet. I have to say that. I have to say this, okay? This is just crazy. For a long while, we've always been assuming that First Amendment rights can protect us almost under any circumstances, and we feel free and obligated to say such stuff. And we get pissed off when we're curtailed on this, when we are basically shackled or tossed out on our ear, ridiculed like crazy. Call it character assassination. Either we're the ones doing the assassinating or we're getting assassinated at this point. We get ticked off enough to put libel suits out there. Well, imagine this situation here. You have an established reputation. You are a character actor of sorts. You finally get the big time. You get yourself landed on a show. People love your acting. People love you. Until you start opening up your mouth concerning about what your personal viewpoints are about certain things, about people. And then you hear and see the backlash at this point. You wonder why. And then suddenly you realize the big ticket that you just had got taken away from you. Some of the fans' reactions are either, why did we have this person out here in the first place if they have these kind of viewpoints? And another camp says, why are we taking this person out of here? Because they have viewpoints protected under the First Amendment. And you have to realize something. Not everything is going to be protected under the First Amendment. There have been court cases out there concerning about what corporations can and can't do. When you sign contracts with corporates, you are guaranteeing them a certain behavior that has to be adhered to. They have code of ethics. There have been lawsuits happening throughout the decades concerning about these kind of rules and regulations that pop up. That's why these corporates have them, but not to mention they have liability shields. People keep forgetting this, that even though technically speaking you are protected against the government regarding your First Amendment rights, you want to get the government doesn't point over here because you're aiming it at the government. But if you're aiming it at other people in general, opening yourself up to a can of worms that you just back. You just blew up Pandora's box, basically. I know, there's a lot of descriptions we use concerning about situations going out of control, and we haven't used Greek mythology and Greek young woman, very pretty young woman, no different than one compared to the other. You've got a box created that has a lot of ills and wills and everything else regarding mankind. She's told not to open this anywhere near it. But being a curious young woman she is, Pandora, box, and opens it up. And everything of ills and wills and everything else ugly concerning about anything crawls out, flies out, blows up. Does she find some way to close the damn thing up and leave the hole inside? Of course, she gets her ass chewed up. What do you expect to be doing? God was created as human, full of curiosity, full of beauty, and then full of stupidity at the same time. Yeah, I did use the other word on this. Because she didn't have the common sense at this point over here to listen to the guy who was trying to tell her, don't do this, and she did it in the first place. Using the analogy that we've got right now, we have people getting blasted left and right because they open up their mouths and do it. I am no exception. I am not the end-all, be-all. I am not a guru of anything. I put a lot of disclaimers out there and the stuff I'm posting out there, realizing my ass is foobar. Anything I say out there is going to be held against me one way or another. I realize all the time. And I also have to realize that anything I happen to say out there is going to be either used against me or not, depending upon people's point of view, but also depending upon the corporate point of view. Now, what I kept trying to tell people left and right regarding YouTube stuff, and also regarding social media such as Twitter and Facebook and any other kind of stuff, if there are any code of conduct in there, under the terms and conditions at this point over here, you are subject under those damn things because you hit the OK button. You hit the agree to the terms and conditions without even realizing what the hell you're hitting at this point because you didn't even bother to read the damn fine print. There are certain codes and certain ethics that these companies will have to follow. They want to maintain their customer base. They want to maintain good business practices, marketing, liability, a lot of factors to keep their company going. They want to keep a good public appearance presence at this point over here. Well, what better way than having a major corporation demonstrating on their view of people's tolerance of others by kicking out another actress who tried to use her theoretical First Amendment rights in different media platforms and got her ass burned for it. And because of her viewpoints being that acidic, this major corporation decided they're not going to take any chances at this point. They want to keep their good Mr. and Mrs. Clean attitude. In any way, shape, or form, they're going to dump. And dump they did. Now some of the fans who have actually been supporting of this particular person in a popular series has been going ape over this and not understanding the reasons why. Well, my explanation is this. Read the frickin' terms and conditions, you idiots. Why do they have them out there in the first place? You don't like the code of conduct? Get the hell out. Make up your own damn thing and make up your own damn policies and procedures and your own damn forums to follow for people to bitch and belly grip. Other companies have to have markability. If they want to keep up a good customer base. In order to do that, they have to make sure that they've got a better public image out there. This is the reasons why people don't like major corporations, because they don't like the way they're getting away with things left and right, and they don't understand. Yeah, they have been doing it, because if you want to deal business with these assholes, you got to play their game. Take another example. Something's been ongoing for about a century, or maybe less than that. Remember, for decades less. A food product. A food product that we have been dealing with, and a food company have been trying to deal with wholesome images. However, one particular image that had been there for God knows how many decades, representing a dark portion of the United States history. And this person had made fame by having this image on the product that this food company has been selling left and right. Now it's changed to something else, totally different. Packaging had to be changed. The product remains the same, but the image gone. And there's still pushback on this. The image was said to have been a racial slur for decades. because this person was theoretically a slave, according to some idiots out there. I researched it fully enough. I did some research on it. I still have to double check the information before I'm starting to post anything else out there, because I know it's going to be coming up and biting me in the ass. What I understand currently, and I'm going to be re-educated on this, I know that, is this person had made pancakes in a certain way, in a certain fashion, in a certain formula that was pleasant to a lot of people, and her image was used a great deal, and not to mention the name was basically a racial slur that was used for decades, even a century or two. And when you knew this product, you called it by that name all the time. You knew its quality. You knew how good it was. Well, how this company was profiting off of it. But you bought the product anyway because you liked the product. You didn't care about the name, except there was a great deal of pushback on this. And they looked at it, and they thought the product name this was the appropriate time to push back. Now we got the counterculture coming up and pushing on people left and right because it's got to be politically correct at this point over here. Much like football teams and baseball teams losing mascots and team names because of racial slurs and nationality crisis going on, that had been changing identities left and right. And certain teams are agreeing to it, and other team members and other fans out there are still scratching their heads why the changes, because of the slurs that's been happening for so long. But a lot of people have grown up under that kind of identity. They don't look at it as a slur, except for people outside. From what I've kept reading about and examining different things left and right, different viewpoints happening out there, being posted out there in social media. Viewpoints vary, so there's the reasons. And therefore, because of a massive viewpoint, one particular football team, which has been known for generations as one particular name, had to be changed to something else. Other teams in the Southern California region had to change their mascots because other people don't like their mascot names anymore. It's too harsh, too racial, too whatever they call it these days. So now we have to deal with that one. I brought up the term concerning about First Amendment rights, didn't I? When you have people arguing left and right, certain people actually do use cross posts and cross groups to get their point across. And they get their asses chewed out left and right because they're not following the rules and regulations. Yeah. I've seen that a lot too. Even in science fiction group clubs I've seen online that has certain guidelines that are not being adhered to left and right. Someone brings up a moon landing situation on a sci-fi post that they think, well, it's moon related, so let's put this one up here. And then you see the jumping. You see the piranhas going after each other. The feeder fish, the blood frenzy on this one. There's the proverbial blood in the water, and you see the sharks coming out left and right. Sharks have different sizes, different types, different viewpoints. And again, scream, what about First Amendment rights? A major example concerning about First Amendment rights was probably demonstrated on January 6th. Now, I have to say this, okay? I have to say this. You have a government rally, government-sponsored rally out there, demonstrating a viewpoint of a situation, It's already been taking place. But the people have the right to verbally and produce signs to say, I disagree with what the hell's going on. I still disagree with the situation, the decision, the implementation, everything about it. You're disagreeing with the form of government at this point. You're going against the government. You're making your viewpoint known. That's supposed to be protected under First Amendment rights. What blew out of proportion is when you start invading territory, and that's not covered under First Amendment rights. There are 5 points on that. You have chaos and anarchy going on. Now we've got politics under trial. We should have everything else under trial if we're going to be going insane with this damn thing. But the politics and the First Amendment rights have to be also re-examined in Congress and also in the court systems of how our forefathers would have thought about this. And they tried to make their arguments in various papers. But I guess it takes a scholar to look at those kind of things and understand what they're talking about. Because these days, a lot of people just don't understand what First Amendment is covering them in one way or another. When it comes down for corporates, and you're going to agree to a corporate lifestyle, your First Amendment rights are kind of curtailed a bit. Because at this point, you've given yourself to a corporate at this point. If you're going to be going on social media, you have to comply with them. They give you so much latitude. But beyond that, forget it. That's why we have people getting blocked and dumped permanently left and right. Because they've gone beyond what they're allowed and accepted. Now, you're probably going to be asking, what the hell is this guy talking about? Well, we have stranger days coming up where all of our ideas and what we considered sacrosanct is going to be reevaluated all over again. If it's not being done today, it's going to be done tomorrow, and then the next day, and then the next day after that. If it hasn't been doing that already. We're having our values, we're having our judgments, we're having our concepts reevaluated all the time of what we believe in, what we know to be true, what we understand to be true. And if we don't understand, we're going to have to get an educated head slap upside the head and get back into learning again. Some people actually don't want to do that. They want to deal with what they know, and that's about it. They don't want to expand it. They don't want to grow. If they do that, they might hurt themselves or might get a brain fart or worse, get a headache or a migraine. Maybe they'll pop blood vessels. Maybe their brains are too damn old and fragile that they can't put any more gray cells into them. That's a pretty depressing thought, isn't it? Even for me, I have my values constantly gone over and reevaluated left and right because what I hold true is questioned all the time. What I don't hold true is I usually dump it in a damn garbage can in the first place and say, fuck 'em. What I understand is sometimes I need more knowledge and I have to be open-minded. But there are guidelines. Actually, there are limits I have. There are certain terms and conditions I have for myself. And anything beyond that, I'm not going to be able to accept or acknowledge. When you start making racial slurs to people left and right and expect not to get terminated over it, you're really playing with fire at this point. If you're working with a company that has a moral compass and you're going beyond borders, beyond that compass, if you're going beyond the edge, so to speak, that the compass can't read anymore, that could not get you back into focus, into the direction needed. You're not needed because you can't follow directions. You can't follow the compass heading. There is a set course. There is a set thought pattern. Beyond that, forget it. So people are going to but they're going to have constant arguments over this. They've been having it for a hell of a long while since social media created itself. And they're going to constantly have that. And I'm just adding this 2 cents into the fray. It's never going to be solved. It's never going to be right. It's never going to be what everybody else wants or needs. It simply is. Corporates are allowed limited luxuries unless they are reinterpreted by Congress or by the Supreme Court of the United States at this point over here. And I'm strictly speaking about the United States of America. I'm not speaking about the international community. Let the other countries have their own issues with that. I'm dealing strictly with the United States of America at this point. We have laws, we have rules, we have regulations, we have conditions, we got corporations out there. We have different sets of standards for anything and everything. And it's hard to help. It's hard to interpret what's real and what's not real, what's legitimate, what's not legitimate. So in essence, I'm saying to you folks, be careful, watch your step, watch your mouth, watch your tweets, watch your posts. There are people watching, and they will judge it accordingly. If not now, down the road, and you're going to get your ass bit. I'm still waiting for Jaws to come out and take a good bite at me. I'm still waiting for the Quint character in me to get mauled a bit. Because I know there's no Brody out there to save me at this point. And any kind of tweet, any kind of post, any kind of video I do is going to be subject, will be subjected, has been subject to scrutiny. If not back in the past, to be it right now or in the future. This is what happens to social media when you have cork boards, okay? My God, it's an ancient technology I'm talking about. A cardboard cork board with a sharp pin and a piece of paper or whatever you're putting on there for everybody to see and everybody to judge and everybody to remark. Because you're putting it out there. You think it's protected? If you want to protect your own damn stuff, keep it private. Don't post it. Don't let anybody else know about the damn thing. Because it'll be safe. It won't be known, but it'll be safe. You put it out there, you're open season. You'll be judged. But you want your viewpoints known. You want your stuff out there to be recognized. You got to take the heat. You got to take the criticism. You want the accolades. You got to take the negativity at the same time. You don't like it? Tough shit. Reality check. Till next time.